The second half of Bon Appetit, Your Majesty promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. It kicks off not only with a high-stakes, historical culinary showdown, but also with deadly clashes, JiYoung's very life hanging in the balance. She's set to alchemy the envoy's soul, with gochugaru and gochujang, just as she did the king. Blades are drawn, and the action ignites. At the end of the last episode, JiYoung boldly threw down the gauntlet, daring the Ming cooks to bring it on. Now, Prince JeSan decides it's time to unsheath swords of his own, sending his men after JiYoung. And yet, even amidst danger, the tyrant king and his chef steal tender moments of affection. Meanwhile, the drama continues its reign at the top of the buzzworthy charts, with ratings soaring to a nationwide average of 12.7%, and stars Lim Yoon and ChaeMin holding their top spots as the most buzzworthy cast members. This fantasy romance shows no signs of slowing down. And here's the best part: stick around to the end of this video for some juicy behind-the-scenes secrets, hidden details you may have missed, and a sneak peek into what's coming next for our time-traveling chef and the ruthless king. Beware of spoilers. But before we dive in, who's your bet on? The 3-star Michelin chef from the future, equipped with knowledge of both past and future, but surrounded by enemies plotting her downfall. Or the Ming cooks, masters of their era, with schemers plotting their victory. The battle is about to begin. Meanwhile, they say, the fastest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. JiYoung has been serving Eheon, one delicacy after another, since she arrived in Joseon, practically giving the tyrant king a foodgasm with every bite. And being a food connoisseur, it's no wonder the king fell fast, as he didn't only get to experience otherworldly tastes, but his heart also found peace with JiYoung. Her beauty blindsided him in the last episode, when they spent time outside the palace. However, he's yet to register what his unusual considerations and gifts mean. He's yet to catch up with his beating heart for JiYoung, or let's say, admit it. JiYoung, on the other hand, is starting to suspect the king's feelings for her. What's with getting her the charm she admired at the market? However, she's too concerned with going back to her time to register how she feels about the tyrant king. I mean, why else would she give him iris flowers to help soothe his mind? Meanwhile, with the themes and stakes decided, the first competition is set to be held in the next episode. As the theme has to do with a never-before-seen meat dish, JiYoung decides she needs a pressure cooker. This could be to help save time. With her advanced knowledge, this should easily be in her book. But then, Prince JeSan and the envoy, including Ju, have other plans. So many odds are against JiYoung. Despite the king going with her to the craftsman, she's still attacked by Prince JeSan's men. Of course, despite JiYoung collapsing, they're bound to fail, as the tyrant king wouldn't let anything happen to his special chef. However, there's still Ju and the arsenic. If used, this will prove disastrous for JiYoung, as not even the king can wring her out of this. Through their many ups and downs, the kitchen staff have come to trust JiYoung, as she's proven herself over time. Hopefully, their new forged kinship will deter cook Man-soo from executing Ju's order. No true lover of food would mess with food. Meanwhile, JiYoung also has some people in her corner, aside from the king. Jae won't sit and let the schemers score one against his ally. The Queen Dowager also has a hidden card to play, which could eventually upend the whole competition. However, Prince JeSan also has another card to play, if this fails to alienate the king further. The king has been obsessed with a draft, which records the reason why his mother was deposed. He's carried pain and anger in his heart through the years, as he believes his mother was unjustly deposed. He had witnessed the event as a child, but had no idea why it happened. It doesn't help that the parties involved lied to him, that his mother had died from a disease, unaware that he'd witnessed the event. He searches for the draft, to identify those responsible for his mother's deposition, and to seek revenge against them. Historically, this marked the start of his downfall, which is why JiYoung advised him to avoid anger, and be cautious of those close to him. Seeing as Prince JeSan is with the draft, indicates that it had been his men who attacked the drafter. Having the draft, he can influence what the king sees, and might manipulate events to his advantage. If the competition fails to yield his desired result, he might change the content of the draft, and release it to the king, who, in turn, might unleash his anger on innocent parties. Remember, it was the purge that led to the king's death. What's more, it's become clear that the jester, Gong-gil, is a double agent. The king holds him in confidence, trusting him to carry out some secret missions for him, but it seems Gong-gil is on a mission of his own. The king had been shot with an arrow when he first met JiYoung. And it seems Gong-gil had been the shooter. Unaware, the king trusted him to investigate the shooter. It seems Gong-gil is on a mission to find out what happened to his late sister, Dan. It also looks like he might blame the king for her death. His sister had been taken to Jehongwon, now Mokju's abode, during Chae and returned home dead. Looking at how bruised she is, she must have been beaten to death. What's more, Mokju might have something to do with this, as her right-hand court lady's hairpin case was found in her clutches. Mokju had sent her to hinder Giljeom from delivering what JiYoung needed for the competition. Seeing at what length she was willing to go to stop Giljeom, shows that she might be capable of murder. What's more, seeing as Gong-gil is secretly investigating the king's mission, it could mean he still has little faith in the king. He also can be seen fighting alongside the king, in the preview for the next episode. But then, why hasn't he told the king about his uncle's intentions? JiYoung and the king manage to escape from the assassins. The eventful day turns into a picnic, as JiYoung makes a meal for the king, while the king fans the flames. Meanwhile, with the second half of the series in view, some viewers are worried about how it'll end. Given that this is a time travel series, this could be of concern. Going by the novel, this should have a happy ending. However, there's no way the writer will rewrite history. History is not about to change because of JiYoung. This means that Hyun, who's based on a real historical tyrannical figure, will still end up the way history documented. But with a twist. He has to cross over to JiYoung's world. Seeing them together in the future will be a wonderful way to end the series. As mentioned, here are some behind the scenes. What are your thoughts? Let us know your theories and speculations in the comments section below. And don't forget to cast your bet on who would win. If you enjoyed this content, please give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for all things wonderfully K-drama. Thanks for watching, bye.